everyone. How are you, students? Welcome. Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi, students. So, students, in the last class, we completed our discussion on the ellipse, right? We discussed everything there is to discuss in the ellipse, and the same thing that we have discussed in the ellipse, the same thing are going to be there in the hyperbola, but one or two things will be different just because of the hyperbola. Okay. But the concept wise the hyperbola is still remains the same. Okay, we will again going to discuss the director circle, line and hyperbola, equation of chord of contact, lattice rectum, length of lattice rectum, equation of the chord with a given middle point. All those things will remain same as it is. Okay, so let's start with our discussion on the hyperbola. So students, in today's class what we are going to do is, first of all we will look into the definition of hyperbola. What is the definition of hyperbola? Then we will see the terminology related to hyperbola. Then we will see the what is the eccentricity of the hyperbola, position of a point and line and hyperbola. Okay, and if time permits then we will also see the director circle. Okay, so let's start our discussion on it. Okay, so first of all, definition. What is hyperbola exactly? Okay, so from the definition of the conic, you can say that hyperbola is a locus of a point which moves in a plane such that its ratio of its distance from a fixed point. Let's say this point is locus, okay, and this is a fixed line. This is a fixed line, and this F is a fixed point. Okay, this is a fixed point. So hyperbola क्या है? It is a locus of a point P which move in a plane such that its ratio of its distance from a fixed point that is focused to its distance from a fixed line, which is known as directrix, is greater than 1. Okay, means PF upon PM is equal to E, means that ratio is constant and that constant is greater than 1, and that constant is greater than 1. Is this clear? The ratio is called eccentricity and it is denoted by E. Okay, it is written here is that ratio of the distance from a fixed point to the line is constant. That constant is known as E, which is greater than 1. Clear? So it means for the hyperbola, eccentricity is greater than 1 always. For hyperbola, eccentricity is greater than 1. For ellipse, eccentricity is between 0 and 1. For parabola, eccentricity is 0. Eccentricity is 1. For parabola, eccentricity is 1. Okay, this is the definition from the conic. Okay, now we will look into the alternate definition of the hyperbola. Okay, which is saying that hyperbola is a locus of a point P which moves such that the difference of its distance from the two fixed point. Okay, these F1 and F2 are the two fixed points. F1 and F2 क्या है? Two fixed points है. Okay, so it is a locus of a point P which moves such that its difference of its distance from the two fixed point is constant. Means ये minus आएगा. Okay, is constant, and that constant should be lesser than the distance between two fixed points. Okay, it means let's say the two fixed points are F1, F2. So the difference of its distance is PF1 minus PF2 का mod. This difference should be constant. Let's suppose this distance is equal to 2a. Okay, so in hyperbola, the constant that we get, it should be lesser than the distance between the two fixed point. Means this constant should be lesser than 2c. So it means a should be lesser than c. Clear? In ellipse क्या होता था? In ellipse, the constant should be greater than distance between the two fixed points. But in hyperbola, the constant should be lesser than the distance between the two fixed points. Is this clear? Is this clear, students? So if mod of PF1 minus PF2 is constant, so what is PF1? Square root of distance between PF1, which is under root of h plus c का whole square plus k square minus time PF2, again under root of h minus c का whole square plus k square. इसको भी solve करना आता है हमें, तो take the mod, तो modulus को हटाएंगे, then we will get h plus c whole square plus k square minus under root of h minus c whole square plus k square is equal to plus minus 2a. आगे क्या करेंगे? Take this bracket, this square root on the right hand side. Okay, so h plus c whole square plus k square is equal to under root of h minus c का whole square plus k square plus minus 2a. Okay. इसके बाद square on the both side and again proceeds the same procedure. Okay. Square on the both side and again proceed. So when you do that, when you simplify that, you will get this equation. Okay. X by a square, x by a square. In this equation, what you are seeing? H, k, and at last we can replace h with x and k with y. So we are just seeing the x, y, c and a, right? So what we will get? X square upon a square minus y square upon c square minus a square is equal to 1. Okay. And what we say that we assume that c square minus b square is equal to b square. C square minus a square is equal to b square. So at last we will get x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to 1. So standard equation of hyperbola ये होता है. Standard equation of hyperbola क्या होता है? Standard equation of hyperbola is x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. Clear? This is the equation of the standard hyperbola. X square by a square minus y square by b square equal to 1. Don't forget that what is b square? B square is nothing but c square minus a square, right? So in hyperbola we saw that c is greater than a. Yes or no? From the definition, c is greater than a. Also यहाँ से c square कितना आ रहा है? C square is equal to a square plus b square. तो इसका मतलब c should also be greater than b, right? Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear? Is there any doubt, students? Tell me quickly in the chat box if you have any doubt so far. समझ में आ रहा है सब? Right? Okay. Now, if it is clear, so standard equation of hyperbola is x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to 1. Okay. Now, if it is clear, then let's. Okay. So first of all, if hyperbola आ गया, so let's just draw the hyperbola. Okay. Just basic thing about the hyperbola we should know before going to the tracing of the hyperbola. 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Let's start. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. So student, when you draw this hyperbola, the hyperbola looks like this. Like this. Okay. This is the point where y is 0. So when you do y equal to 0, you will get x plus minus a. Yes or no? So this is a comma 0 and this is minus a comma 0. Okay, minus a comma 0. Clear? Okay. Right? This is minus a comma 0. So let's call this a dash. And similarly, when b is 0, similarly वैसे तो कट करेगा नहीं clearly. अगर x 0 हो गया तो y square क्या आएगा? Minus b square, which is not possible, right? So just for the sake of writing, we write like this. Let's say this is b, which is 0 comma minus b, and which is b dash, which is 0 comma. Sorry, this is 0 comma b and this is 0 comma minus b. Clearly, this b and b dash are not lying on the. These are not lying on the hyperbola, right? As we can see. Okay. Okay. So student, what we say that this a dash, this a dash को हम क्या बोलते हैं? The a dash are vertices of hyperbola. Clear? A dash is vertices of the hyperbola. And as same as the in ellipse क्या होता था? X-axis के along. In ellipse, it is known as major axis, but in hyperbola, this a dash is known as transverse axis. Transverse axis. Okay. Transverse axis. And this b dash is known as conjugate axis. Conjugate axis. याद रहेगा? Ellipse के केस में a dash was the major axis and b dash was the minor axis. But in case of hyperbola, the a dash is transverse axis and b dash is conjugate axis. You can say that the axis about which the hyperbola is symmetric. The axis about which the hyperbola is symmetric we can call that as a transverse axis. Okay, and if I ask you what is the length of, and generally I will be as denoting my transverse axis with TA and conjugate axis with CA. Okay, if I ask you length of TA, length of transverse axis कितना है? 2A. Similarly, what is the length of conjugate axis? Length of conjugate axis कितना है? 2B. Is this clear? Right? I hope there is no doubt so far. Okay. So if it is clear, so now let's come back to the tracing of the hyperbola. Basically, the basic things about the hyperbola that we need to understand. Okay. From the hyperbola, we can see that, again I told you A dash is known as vertices. This is A dash, and let's suppose B यहाँ पे कहीं होगा. This is B, which is 0, B, and this is B dash, which is 0, B minus B. Okay. A dash क्या बोलते हैं? Transverse axis. Length of transverse axis is 2A. Again BB dash is conjugate axis. Length of conjugate axis is 2B. Clear रहेगा? ये सबको याद रहेगा? Is there any doubt? Okay. Now again the same things are this S and S dash. S and S dash are focus. Okay. Those two constant. The C, 0. Let me write this down again. The C, 0 and minus C, 0. Okay. Those two fixed points from the definition, they are known as focus. And we will prove very soon that the C value of C is nothing but AE and minus AE. Okay. C is nothing but AE. So what I mean to say is that focal radius of a point P, let's suppose this is a point P. So focal radius of the point P is nothing but the distance of point P from the focus. Distance of point P from focus is known as focal radius, and any chord passing through the focus is known as focal chord. Similarly, any chord which is perpendicular to the transverse axis is known as double ordinate. Any chord which is perpendicular to the transverse axis is known as double ordinate, and a special double ordinate which is passing through the focus is known as lattice rectum. Yes, let's say this is S and S dash are the focus. So this is a double ordinate because this is perpendicular to the transverse axis and also passing through the focus. So you can say that this is nothing but lattice rectum. याद रहेगा? Terminology is very similar, na? Yes or no? Terminology is very similar. Is this clear, students? Is there any doubt so far? Okay. If it is clear, then let's move on. Then now let's talk about the eccentricity. Okay, in the ellipse we have seen. Can anybody tell me the eccentricity of ellipse first of all? Ellipse के केस में eccentricity क्या आया था अपना? Eccentricity was under root of 1 minus b square by a square, which is basically nothing but in ellipse, which is nothing but under root of 1 minus minor axis का square divided by major axis का square. Yes or no? This was the eccentricity in case of ellipse. Clear hai? Is this clear? So now similarly we can derive the formula of the eccentricity of the hyperbola. Okay. Again, eccentricity का formula क्या होता है? For the central conic. I have told you same thing in the ellipse also. For the central conic means the conics which have the center, means hyperbola and ellipse, the eccentricity can be defined as distance of center from focus divided by distance of center from vertex, means C by A. Okay, so your eccentricity is equal to C by A. So what is C? C is nothing but A only. Yes or no? C कितना आ गया? A. And focus के coordinate क्या थे? Focus coordinates are C, 0 and minus C, 0. So you can say that coordinate of focus in terms of eccentricity are plus minus AE. Is this clear? ये याद रहेगा. So आज के बाद whenever I will use plus minus AE, 0 to denote the focus. Is this clear? Okay. If it is clear, so now let's come back to the eccentricity. Okay. So student, what is eccentricity? आज भी अभी देखा, eccentricity is nothing but C by A. Right? So what is E square? E square is nothing but C square upon A square. Yes or no? Right? Okay. In hyperbola, what is c square? C square is a square plus b square. So it implies eccentricity का square कितना हो गया? 1. Sorry. Eccentricity का square is c square upon a square, means a square plus b square upon a square. So it means eccentricity का square is nothing but 1 plus b square upon a square. So eccentricity कितना आ गया? Under root of 1 plus b square upon a square. ये याद रहेगा? This is the formula of eccentricity. Or you can say that eccentricity is nothing but under root of 1 plus, इसको क्या लिख सकते हो? b square को ऐसे लिख लो 2b upon 2b square upon 2a square. Both are same thing only. Yes or no? 4 is b square upon 4a square. 4 and 4 cancel out. So 1 plus b square upon a square. So it means you can write the eccentricity also in terms of 1 under root of 1 plus what is 2b? Conjugate axis. 2b is conjugate axis का square divided by what is 2a? Transverse axis. Transverse axis का square. And in case of, देखो ellipse के केस में क्या था? Eccentricity was 1 minus b square upon a square, right? In case of ellipse, eccentricity was 1 minus b square upon a square. So we have to check whether the b is bigger or b is smaller. So according to that, we were adjusting our a and b. Yes or no? But in case of hyperbola, we don't need to do that. Okay. In case of hyperbola, it is always under root of 1 plus b square upon a square. Doesn't matter a is bigger or a is smaller value. Okay. What I mean to say is this. Okay. Let's suppose example के तौर पे, let's suppose x square upon 4 minus y square by 2 is equal to 1. This is your hyperbola. Okay. If I ask you what is the eccentricity of this hyperbola, E is equal to under root of 1 plus b square upon a square. Right? A square कितना है? 4. B square कितना है? 2. तो 1 plus 1 by 2, 3 by 2 means under root of 3 by 2. Clear है? Is this clear? Okay. Similarly student, let's say second example. Let's say example 2. X square upon 9 minus y square upon 16 is equal to 1. Now again, if I ask you what is the eccentricity, eccentricity क्या बोलोगे? Under root of 1 plus b square upon a square. So 16 upon 9. So means under root of 25 by 3, 9, which is 5 by 3. Is this clear? So in case of hyperbola, there is no need to adjusting a and b. It is always under root of 1 plus b square upon a square. Okay. Is this clear, everyone? Do you have any doubt? Clear? Okay. If it is clear, then let's talk about the length of lattice rectum. Length of lattice rectum. What is the length of lattice rectum? Yes. First of all, length of lattice rectum कितना है? Tell me. Length of lattice rectum कितना आ रहा है? Length of lattice rectum. This L dash or T dash, both are same things. Okay. So let's suppose at point L, what is the x coordinate? X coordinate is A only. Yes or no? X coordinate is A only, right? So what is your hyperbola? Hyperbola is x square upon a square minus y square upon b square is equal to 1, right? At point L, which is a comma something, right? Put x is equal to a. Put x is equal to ae. तो x को a डालने पे y कोऑर्डिनेट आ जाएगा. Yes or no? सब्स्टिट्यूट करो तो a स्क्वायर e स्क्वायर अपॉन a स्क्वायर माइनस y स्क्वायर बाय b स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 1. कितना आ रहा है ये? वी आर गेटिंग e स्क्वायर विच इज 1 प्लस b स्क्वायर अपॉन a स्क्वायर माइनस 1 इज इक्वल टू y स्क्वायर अपॉन b square. So minus 1 and 1 cancel out. So y square is coming as b raised to the power 4 upon a square. So means y कितना आ रहा है plus minus b square by a. Clear? So it means this coordinate of L कितना आ गया a comma b square by a and coordinate of L dash कितना आ गया a comma minus b square by a. Is this clear? So it implies length of lattice rectum कितना आ गया? Length of lattice rectum is nothing but L dash, which is nothing but 2b square upon a. Is this clear, students? And if somebody asks you the extreme points of the lattice rectum or extremities of lattice rectum, तो कितना बोलोगे? Extremities of lattice rectum means the coordinates of the extreme points of lattice rectum. They are a comma b square by a and a comma minus b square by a. Similarly, you will get this only when you put the minus a comma 0 and minus a comma b square by a and minus a comma minus b square by a. Is this clear? Clear, students? Any doubt so far? So length of lattice rectum क्या होता है? 2b square by a. The same length of lattice rectum we have seen in the ellipse also, है ना? Ellipse के केस में भी the length of lattice rectum was 2b square by a only. Is this clear? Any doubt so far, students? Okay. If it is clear, then let's proceed. So students, in case of hyperbola, the directrix is क्या होती है? X is equal to plus minus a by e. Okay, x is equal to plus minus a by e. इसको प्रूव भी कर सकते हो. Okay, means PS कितना होना चाहिए? EPM, right? What is PS? Let's say let point P कितना है? A comma 0, right? Okay, and S क्या है? फोकस है. S क्या होगा? AE comma 0. So what is PS? PS is nothing but AE minus A. Yes or no? तो यहां से E कॉमन निकाल लो. कितना आ रहा है? A minus A by E. Yes or no? Right? So if I assume that X is equal to A by E is a directrix, means X is equal to A by E is a directrix, right? So A minus A by E कितना आ रहा है? E times A minus A by E कितना आ रहा है? PM only. Yes or no? PM, right? So देखो PS is equal to EPM आ रहा है, right? Verify हो गया that if the directrix of the hyperbola is X is equal to A by E or minus A by E, then PS is equal to EPM is verified. Okay, so it means hyperbola के केस में directrix क्या होगा? Plus minus A by E. और hyperbola में E is greater than 1, so A by E जो होना चाहिए it should be lesser than A. So that's why तुम्हारा जो directrix आएगा वो इस तरफ आ रहा है. Okay, closer to origin. तो ये क्या होगा? X is equal to minus A by E. Clear everyone? Is this clear? So directrix of the hyperbola is X is equal to plus minus A by E. Okay. Yes, very good, Aniket. Very good. Okay. If it is clear, then let's proceed. Okay. तो अब तक क्या देगा? सबसे पहले hyperbola x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1, right? In hyperbola c square कितना होता है? A square plus b square. Eccentricity of the hyperbola is under root of 1 plus b square upon a square. Focus of the hyperbola is plus minus AE. Length of lattice rectum of the hyperbola is 2b square upon a. Directrix of the hyperbola is plus minus a by e. Clear है? Okay. So now let's talk about the conjugate hyperbola, which is very very important. Okay. Conjugate hyperbola क्या होता है? For every hyperbola there will always exist a conjugate hyperbola. Okay. So let's look into the definition. Easy है काफी. Okay. सो डेफिनेशन क्या बोल रही, पढ़ो इसको. करस्पॉन्डिंग टू एवरी हाइपरबोला देयर एग्जिस्ट अ हाइपरबोला सच दैट conjugate axis and transverse axis of one becomes conjugate axis and transverse axis and conjugate axis of another respectively. So such hyperbola are known as conjugate of each other. कहने का मतलब क्या है कि transverse axis of one hyperbola become the conjugate axis of another, and similarly the conjugate axis of one hyperbola becomes transverse axis of another. So when this happens, then we say that both the hyperbola are conjugate hyperbola. Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear? So it means if your hyperbola is x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to 1, then the conjugate hyperbola क्या होगा, x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to -1. ओके, ये याद रखना है सबको. ओके, सो फॉर एच का मतलब है हाइपरबोला. फॉर हाइपरबोला में ट्रांसवर्स एक्सिस की लेंथ कितनी है, 2a. कॉन्जुगेट एक्सिस की लेंथ कितनी है, 2b. नाउ फॉर कॉन्जुगेट हाइपरबोला transverse axis will become conjugate axis of the original hyperbola. So it means in conjugate hyperbola the transverse axis will be 2b and conjugate axis will become 2a. Clear हुआ? Is this clear or not? Tell me quickly in the chat box, is this clear or not? Is this clear, students? Is there any doubt? Okay, okay. So student, it means let's suppose E1 is the eccentricity of hyperbola and E2 is the eccentricity of conjugate hyperbola. ओके, सबसे पहले मुझे बताओ कि E1 कितना होना चाहिए. सबसे पहले E1 स्क्वायर कितना होना चाहिए फॉर द हाइपरबोला. द E1 स्क्वायर एसेंट्रिसिटी का स्क्वायर इज, यस हाई विकास हाई, इट शुड बी 1 प्लस बी स्क्वायर अपॉन ए स्क्वायर. नाउ E2 स्क्वायर क्या होना चाहिए, एसेंट्रिसिटी ऑफ द कॉन्जुगेट हाइपरबोला. सोचो और बताओ. 1 प्लस कॉन्जुगेट एक्सिस का स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाय ट्रांसवर्स एक्सिस का स्क्वायर. यस और नो, यस और नो, यही होता है ना एसेंट्रिसिटी का फॉर्मूला. ई स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 1 प्लस कॉन्जुगेट एक्सिस का स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाय ट्रांसवर्स एक्सिस का स्क्वायर. सो 1 प्लस कॉन्जुगेट एक्सिस इज 2a, ट्रांसवर्स एक्सिस इज 2b. सो 1 प्लस 2a का स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाय 2b का स्क्वायर. सो इट मींस E2 स्क्वायर कितना आ रहा है, 1 प्लस a स्क्वायर बाय b स्क्वायर. इज दिस क्लियर एवरीवन? Okay, if it is clear, so you can say that E1 square कितना आ रहा है, a square plus b square divided by a square, and E2 square कितना आ रहा है, a square plus b square divided by b square. Is this clear? Let's call this equation 1 and let's call this equation 2. Clear? Is this clear? Now tell me students, now 1 upon E1 square plus 1 upon E2 square कितना आ गया. It is nothing but 1 upon E1 square means reciprocal of this equation 1. So a square divided by a square plus b square plus what is 1 upon E2 square, reciprocal of this equation 2, b square upon a square plus b square. तो एलसीएम ले लो, a square plus b square, न्यूमरेटर में कितना आ रहा है, a square plus b square only equal to 1. So this is very 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 important formula, that 1 upon E1 square plus 1 upon E2 square is equal to 1. Means if somebody has given you the eccentricity of hyperbola and ask you to find the eccentricity of its conjugate hyperbola, so you can directly tell by using this relation. Is this clear? Where E1 क्या है, eccentricity of hyperbola, and E2 is eccentricity of its conjugate hyperbola. Its conjugate hyperbola. ये याद रहेगा? Is there any doubt in it? Everyone tell me quickly in the chat box. Is this clear? That E1 1 upon E1 square plus 1 upon E2 square is equal to 1. This is the very important relationship. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Is this clear? Okay, if it is clear, then let's move on to the rectangular hyperbola. What is rectangular hyperbola? Rectangular hyperbola बहुत easy है. Rectangular hyperbola में क्या होता है कि ट्रांसवर्स एक्सिस इज इक्वल टू कॉन्जुगेट एक्सिस की लेंथ. ओके, मींस a square is nothing but b square only. Okay, when x by a square minus y square by b square equal to 1 में a square is equal to b square, then we say that it is nothing but a rectangular hyperbola. Okay, if a is equal to b, that is length of transverse axis is equal to length of conjugate axis, then hyperbola is known as rectangular hyperbola. Okay, तो इसकी इक्वेशन कैसे दिखेगी? एक्स स्क्वायर माइनस वाई स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू ए स्क्वायर. यस और नो? क्लियर? सो इट मींस you can write this as x square by a square minus y square by a square is equal to 1. Clear? Now student, if I ask you eccentricity of this hyperbola is nothing but 1 plus a square by a square. It means under root of 1 plus 1 means root 2. So this is very important note is that eccentricity of rectangular hyperbola is always root. Clear रहेगा? If somebody asks you the eccentricity of the rectangular hyperbola, कुछ कैलकुलेट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, डायरेक्ट बोल दो रूट 2 होता है. क्लियर? इज दिस क्लियर? डाउट है तो पूछो. इज दिस क्लियर स्टूडेंट? जेएनवी बलारी, और ये कौन सा जेएनवी है? सिर्फ जेएनवी लिखा हुआ है. विच जेएनवी इज दिस? एंड बजरंग, इज देयर एनी डाउट? विकास, अनिकेत, सो फार कोई डाउट है तो पूछो. ओके ओके, इफ देयर इज नो डाउट देन लेट्स प्रोसीड. ओके, समझ में आ गया? कॉन्जुगेट हाइपरबोला में क्या होता है? दैट transverse axis of one hyperbola become the conjugate axis of another, and conjugate axis of one hyperbola become transverse axis of another. Okay, it means transverse axis and conjugate axis का swap हो जाता है. Yes or no? In case of conjugate hyperbola. Okay, and there is a very important relationship exists between the eccentricity of the both hyperbola is that 1 upon e1 square plus 1 upon e2 square is equal to 1. And in case of rectangular hyperbola, if the length of transverse axis is equal to length of conjugate axis, then hyperbola is rectangular hyperbola. याद रहेगा? And eccentricity of the rectangular hyperbola is root 2. Okay, very good. Let's proceed further. Now, similarly, there is a concept called position of a point with respect to the, क्या लिखा हुआ है? With respect to, 1 second. Yeah, I think there is a printing mistake. Okay, no problem. With respect to hyperbola आएगा. Okay, hyper. Okay, position of a point with respect to hyperbola. Okay, so first of all, let's just define that which is the point in line inside the hyperbola, which is the inside of the hyperbola region, which is the outside of the hyperbola region. So this region, these regions are the inside region. Okay, inside region. Okay, and this region is outside region. याद रहेगा? जो ब्रांच के अंदर है that is the inside region, जो ब्रांच के बाहर है that is the outside region. Okay, now अब ये समझ में आ गया तो you know what we are going to do, right? First, if P point P line inside of hyperbola, then S1 is less than 0. S1 means put the point in the hyperbola it should be less than 0. Similarly, if point P lying outside of the hyperbola, then S1 is greater than 0. Is this clear? Third point क्या है? If point P lying inside of hyperbola, then S1 is equal to 0. Is this clear, students? Tell me, do you have any doubt so far? Quickly let me know in the chat box. Is there any doubt, students? Any doubt so far? Okay. If it is clear, then okay, one second. Okay, yeah. Right, same है, सर्कल में भी यही था, इलिप्स में भी यही था, पैराबोला में भी था, सेम थिंग वाज हैपनिंग इनसाइड हाइपरबोला आल्सो. Okay, S1 greater than 0 means point is lying outside region. S1 less than 0 means point is lying inside region. S1 equal to 0 means point is lying on the curve, means point lying on hyperbola. Okay, point lying on hyperbola. Point P is lying on hyperbola. Clear है? चलो, if it is clear, now let's talk about the line and hyperbola, which is going to be really important. Okay, मैंने आपको in case of ellipse I have told you that ellipse and hyperbola में mathematically the equation wise क्या difference है? Only difference is that b square is got replaced with the minus b square. Yes or no? यही difference है ना? ellipse की equation होती है x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. एंड हाइपरबोला की इक्वेशन होती है एक्स स्क्वायर बाय ए स्क्वायर माइनस वाई स्क्वायर बाय बी स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 1. सो मैथमेटिकली यू कैन सी दैट बी स्क्वायर जस्ट गॉट रिप्लेस विद द माइनस बी स्क्वायर, दैट्स इट, नथिंग एल्स, राइट? ओके, तो ये चीज हम देखो बार बार नोटिस करने वाले हैं. ओके, so in many formula we will see that just by replacing b square with minus b square we will get the same conditions. Okay, so first of all, when hyperbola is x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to 1, line is y equal to mx plus c. Okay, line can be a tangent to the hyperbola, right? Like this line is a tangent, or line can pass outside of the hyperbola, or line can intersect the hyperbola. Yes or no? Right? This is passing outside, this is tangent, and this is secant. Yes or no? Right? So कैसे पता चलता है कि how is whether a line is a tangent or secant or line outside, right? What do we do here? Tell me quickly, क्या करते हैं हम? Solve line and curve and make quadratic in x axis, in x, right? Line और curve को solve करो and make quadratic in x, right? Now क्या करें? Then d equal to d greater than 0 means line is a secant, means line is intersecting the curve at two distinct points. D equal to 0 means line is tangent, means there is only one solution, so means line is just touching the curve. Third is d less than 0 means there is no solution, so it means line is passing outside. Line is passing outside. क्लियर है ना? यही करते हैं हमेशा. Yes or no? Any doubts? Okay, what D means? D is discriminant. D is discriminant, means make the quadratic in x, okay, उसके बाद एक quadratic equation आ गई ना x में, so D is this discriminant, b square minus 4ac. Okay, वो है D. Clear? D is discriminant of the quadratic equation. चलो लिख देता हूँ. D is discriminant discriminant of quadratic equation. Okay, okay. So now solve करते हैं, चलो सॉल्व करो। एक्स स्क्वायर बाय ए स्क्वायर माइनस वाई स्क्वायर बाय बी स्क्वायर, एंड वाई क्या है, लाइन है, लाइन इज y is equal to mx plus c. So instead of y I'm just putting mx plus c whole square is equal to 1. okay, कितना आ गया यहाँ से, एक्स स्क्वायर बाय ए स्क्वायर माइनस 1 बाय बी स्क्वायर इंटू एम स्क्वायर एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस सी स्क्वायर प्लस 2 एम सी एक्स माइनस 1 इज इक्वल टू 0. ओके, तो यहाँ से व्हाट इज द कोफिशिएंट ऑफ एक्स स्क्वायर स्टूडेंट्स, फ्रॉम हेयर 1 बाय ए स्क्वायर, फ्रॉम हेयर माइनस एम स्क्वायर बाय बी स्क्वायर, राइट. यहाँ से कितना रहा है एक्स स्क्वायर का कोफिशिएंट, माइनस एम स्क्वायर बाय बी स्क्वायर, और फ्रॉम हेयर प्लस 1 बाय ए स्क्वायर. So overall 1 by a square minus m square by b square, then minus 2mc upon b square into x plus minus c square by b square minus 1 is equal to 0. Any doubt so far? This is quadratic in x, right? So d greater than 0, दोबारा लिख देता हूं, लाइन इज secant, d equal to 0, line is tangent, and d less than 0, line passing outside, line passing outside. So we need tangent, right? हमें तो condition of tangency देखना है ना. We are interested in the what is the condition of tangency. So for what we are going to do, we are going to do d equal to 0. Is this clear? So for the condition of tangency, we are going to do d equal to 0. Is this clear everyone? Any doubts? Anna? So when you do d equal to 0, what you are going to get? d को 0 कर दो, means b square 2 mc अपॉन b स्क्वायर का होल स्क्वायर माइनस 4 1 बाय ए स्क्वायर. 1 second. One second, student, just give me 1 minute. या क्या बोल रहा था, या 4ac, what is a, coefficient of x square 1 by a square minus m square by c square into constant term क्या है, माइनस c square by b square minus 1. इसको 0 कर दोगे. okay, from when you do this is equal to 0, then you will get a condition of tangency. okay, I'm not going to solve further, you can solve it. okay, but it should be the mathematically it should be the same as the ellipse, right? ellipse के केस में just the difference in case of ellipse and hyperbola, the only difference is b square and minus b square. So it means from logically you can say that condition of tangency for hyperbola क्या होना चाहिए, c should be equal to plus minus under root of a square m square minus b square. Yes or no? Yes or no? In case of ellipse, the condition of tangency was plus minus under root a square m square minus b square. And in case of hyperbola, what is the condition of tangency? C is equal to plus minus under root a square m square minus b square. So this a means coefficient below x square, and ये क्या है, coefficient below y square. y square का जो नीचे लिखा हुआ है, the term which is written below the y square, that is the b square. okay, and the term which is written below the x square, that is the a square. याद रहेगा? So it implies you can say that line y is equal to mx plus minus under root a square m square minus b square is always tangent on hyperbola. On which hyperbola? X square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. Clear है? Okay. Bajrang, you can see the recording of it on the live. Okay, on the YouTube you can see. Okay, YouTube पे मिल जाएगी. There is a channel Avanti Live 7. You can see the recording there also. Okay, but I will prefer that you should be present in the online classes. Okay, that would be more beneficial. But if you want to revise the previous chapter, you can go to the Avanti Live 7. There are all the recordings present. Okay. Okay. So now it means for one slope, for a given slope, we are getting two lines, right? Two tangents we are getting. Y is equal to mx plus under root a square m square minus b square, and y is equal to mx minus under root a square m square minus b square, right? So note करने वाली बात क्या है? For a given slope, we will get, for a given slope, we will get two tangents. Clear है? Is this clear? Okay. Same thing we have seen in the ellipse also. For a given slope, we will get two tangents, right? And same thing for the hyperbola also. Okay. Is this clear? Any doubt so far, students? कोई doubt है क्या? Is there any doubt, students? Tell me quickly in the chat box. Clear है? Okay. If it is clear, then now let's see the director circle. Director circle का definition से you can tell what is the director circle. Director circle is a locus of a point which moves such that tangent are perpendicular to each other, right? Yes or no? Means, let's say this is the hyperbola, okay, and let's say from here you have drawn one tangent, and let's say from here also you have drawn one tangent, okay, and these two tangents are perpendicular to each other. So we are interested in the locus of this point P. Okay, clear है ना? So let's call this tangent, let's suppose this tangent has the slope m1, and let's suppose this tangent has the slope m2. Clear? Can anybody tell me the director circle of ellipse? Director circle of ellipse कल ही पढ़ा है हमने, which is x square plus y square is equal to a square plus b square. याद है? Okay. Now what is the difference between a and b? Sorry, what is the difference between ellipse and hyperbola? Just mathematically, only difference is in the b square, right? In ellipse there is plus b square, and hyperbola is there is minus b square. Yes or no? So that should be reflect on the equation of the director circle also, right? Yes or no? So student, same thing we are going to do. Okay, let equation of the tangent क्या है? That equation of tangent is, tangent कितना है? Tangent with slope m कितना मान सकते हैं on hyperbola? Y is equal to mx plus minus under root of a square m square minus b square. But this tangent is passing through the h comma k, so h comma k should be satisfied. Means k is equal to mh plus minus under root a square m square minus b square. क्लियर है? यहाँ से k माइनस एम एच का होल स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू a स्क्वायर m स्क्वायर माइनस b स्क्वायर. Is this clear? So what you are getting? M square h square minus 2. What is this? 2 h k m plus k square is equal to a square m square minus b square. Is there any doubt so far, students? Any doubts? So what is the, now make a quadratic in m, right? So m square का coefficient है h square and minus a square. So you can say that m square का कोफिशिएंट है h square minus a square, h square minus a square and minus 2hk m plus k square plus b square is equal to 0. So this is quadratic in m. Quadratic in m. तो इसके दो रूट्स आने चाहिए m1 and m2, right? But tangents are perpendicular to each other. Yes or no? Tangents are perpendicular to each other. So it means product of slope क्या होना चाहिए? Should be each other. Clear? Is this clear? It means m1 into m2 क्या है? Product of slope means k square plus b square upon h square minus a square is equal to -1, right? तो यहाँ से कितना आ गया? You will get k square plus b square is equal to minus h square plus a square. So from here you can say that h square plus k square is equal to a square minus b square. Clear everyone? So at last replace h with x, k with y. तो डायरेक्टर सर्कल कितना आ गया? x square plus y square is equal to a square minus b square. Is this clear everyone? Tell me quickly in the chat box. Clear? So this is the equation of director circle. Equation of director circle. Clear? Student, the one interesting thing that you should notice here is that, yes, there is a very interesting thing is going on here, is that डायरेक्टर सर्कल क्या दिख रहा है तुम्हें? एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू व्हाट इज ए स्क्वायर? यू कैन से दैट सेमी ट्रांसवर्स एक्सिस का स्क्वायर. यस और नो? व्हाट इज बी? सेमी कॉन्जुगेट एक्सिस का स्क्वायर, राइट? यस और नो? सो इट मींस if a square is greater than b square, means semi-transverse axis is greater than semi-conjugate axis, yes or no? Then we will get real director circle. Okay, real director circle means in that case, for that hyperbola, the director circle will exist if semi a square is greater than b square. But if a square is less than b square, then director circle for corresponding hyperbola does not exist. Corresponding hyperbola does not exist. Clear है ना? Because radius तो negative आ गई ना, so which cannot be possible. Is this clear? So this is very important note that for ellipse, for all the ellipse, for all kind of ellipse, director circle will always exist. Yes or no? But in case of hyperbola, we have to see, we have to check whether the semi-conjugate axis की length is greater than or smaller than semi-transverse axis की length. Means a square is greater than b square or a square is less than b square. If a square is greater than b square, then for sure real director circle will exist. But if a square is less than b square, then it is imaginary circle. It means there is no real director circle will exist. Is this clear? Any doubt, students, so far? Tell me quickly in the chat box if you have any doubt so far. Clear hai? Okay. So this is the note that I have written here, that the director circle is real only when length of transverse axis is greater than length of conjugate axis. Clear everyone? Okay. If it is clear, then let's solve couple of questions on it. Okay. सबसे पहले स्टार्ट करते हैं बेसिक क्वेश्चन से. Hyperbola is given. For hyperbola, x square by 16 minus y square by 9 is equal to 1. Find eccentricity, coordinate of focus, and equation of directrix, length of lattice rectum. Everything you have to tell for this hyperbola, right? Let's start. First of all, what is hyperbola? x square by 16 minus y square by 9 is equal to 1. Right? Now, first of all, compare this hyperbola with x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1. Right? Now compare this hyperbola with this. So what you will get? What is a square? A square is 16. What is b square? B square is 9. Clear? Is this clear? Is this clear? Everyone tell me quickly in the chat box. Okay. Yes. Very good. Yeah. So now if I ask you what is the eccentricity? Now first eccentricity. What is the eccentricity? Under root of 1 plus b square upon a square. What is that? Under root of 1 plus, what is b square? 9 by 16. 9 by 16. 9 by 16. Clear? 5 by 4. Yes. Under root of 25 by 16 means 5 by 4. Right? Now tell me students, what are the coordinate of focus? Coordinates of focus कितने होते हैं? Plus minus a comma 0. Remember, coordinate of focus are plus minus a comma 0. Right? So what is a into e? Just calculate a into e. So a square is 16. So a is 4 into e कितना है? 5 by 4 comma 0. So it means plus minus 5 comma 0 are the focus. Clear है? Now they are asking equation of directrix. Again very simple. Directrix की equation क्या है? Directrix is x is equal to plus minus a by e only. Yes or no? Equation of directrix is x is equal to plus minus a by e. तो कितना आ गया यहाँ से? It implies x is equal to plus minus what is a? A is 4, e is 5 by 4. तो कितना आ गया? X is equal to plus minus 16 by 5. This is the directrix. Clear? Yes, plus minus JNV plus minus 16 by 5. There will be two directrix, right? Directrix. Okay. If it is clear, then last part is the length of lattice rectum, I believe. Yes, length of lattice rectum. What is length of lattice rectum? Tell me. कितना होता है लेंथ ऑफ लेटेस्ट रेक्टम? अभी डिस्कस किया है 2b square by a. Yes or no? Length of lattice rectum is 2b square by a. 2 into b square is 9, a is 4. So length of lattice rectum is 18 by 4 means 9 by 2. Yes, very good. Clear everyone? Is this clear? Okay, चलो ये तो हो गया. If I ask you student, director circle of this hyperbola, director circle क्या बताओगे? Director circle is x square plus y square is equal to a square minus b square, right? So x square plus y square is equal to a square minus b square होता है director circle. For this hyperbola, it should be x square plus y square is equal to 16 minus 9. So x square plus y square is equal to 7. Clear है? Any doubt so far, students? Tell me quickly in the chat box. Any doubt? Any doubt so far? Let me know in the chat box if you have any doubt. Clear everyone? Okay, very good. So that's all for today everyone. So in the next class we will going to look into the equation of the tangent and equation of the normal to the hyperbola, and then we will see the asymptotes of the hyperbola also. Okay, chalo, that's all for today everyone. We will meet in the next class. Okay, bye everyone, take care everyone.